Okay, welcome back all of you. We have seen that in the introductory class, we had a brief idea about band pass signal, low pass signal representations. Today we'll further discuss upon the analytical representation of band pass and low pass signals. So we know that the band pass signal is basically our modulated signal is a band pass signal, which is a high frequency signal. Band pass signal is a high frequency signal, and on the other hand, the baseband signal is the low frequency message signal, low frequency signal, and that can also be known as low pass signal. So these are the standard notations that we use for the message signal and the modulated signal. The message signal is a low frequency signal. We call it a low pass signal or a baseband signal, and the modulated signal is a band pass signal or a high pass signal or a high frequency signal. Okay. So the concept is that any real narrow band and high frequency signal, that is your band pass signal, can be represented in terms of complex low frequency signal. See, I'm saying that any band pass signal can be comfortably represented in terms of complex low frequency signal. Okay. And this equivalent low frequency signal is known as low pass equivalent of original band pass signal. This is nothing but low pass equivalent of original band pass signal. Now the importance of this translation or this representation is that it makes it possible to work with the low pass equivalent of the band pass signal instead of directly working with them. We know that the band pass signal is a very high frequency signal. So working with a very high frequency signal is a really difficult task when we are dealing with the hardware. And so we represent this high frequency band pass signal into equivalent low pass of the original band pass signal. So this greatly simplifies the handling of the band pass signal, and moreover we can easily apply the signal processing algorithms to the low pass signals as compared to the band pass signal, because in case of band pass signal, which is a high frequency signal, the sampling rates required will be very high. So instead of dealing with band pass signal directly, we deal with its equivalent low pass signal. That is the concept. And that is a universal concept which is valid for all type of communication systems. Okay, although we transmit a band pass signal or the modulated signal, which is a high frequency signal, but using that high frequency signal for the system design is a really difficult task, because the high frequency signal will require high sampling rates. So applying signal processing algorithms will be very difficult in that case. So what we do is we find out the equivalent low pass of that band pass signal, and then we apply all the signal processing algorithm, all the communication tools over the equivalent low pass signal, and then we design the system. Okay, next concept is analytical signal representation. How do we analytically represent any signal? Analytic signal representation. Again, a very simple but a very important concept. See, it is observed that it is much simpler to work with complex exponential representation of sinusoidal signal. It is much simpler to work with complex exponentials. of sinusoidal signal. Thus we tend to convert any sine or cosine signal into its complex exponential equivalent for the further processing. So let us assume that xt is any real valued signal. Xt is any real valued signal, and its complex analytic representation will be will be represented by xp of t, which is xt plus j times of x hat t, where we already know what is x hat t. It is the Hilbert transform of xt. X hat t is nothing but Hilbert transform of xt, and this representation is known as pre-envelope or complex envelope. Okay, like if we take a very simple example, that xt is sine omega naught t, so corresponding Hilbert transform x hat t, we know Hilbert transform provides a phase shift of 90 degree to the input signal, so its Hilbert transform will be minus cos omega naught t. So xpt, which is the complex analytic signal representation, that will be e raised to power j omega naught t, because it is xt, which is sine omega naught t, plus j times of cos omega naught t, so it becomes e j omega naught t. Okay, now let us have a look at the concept of envelope. We say that this kind of representation is known as pre-envelope and complex envelope. Now let us analyze the importance or the significance or the concept of this envelope in case of communication systems. Now let us look at the concept of envelope. Okay, in the introductory class we have seen a very commonly used modulated signal, that is multiplication of message signal with a high frequency carrier signal, right? Let's say this mt is your message signal and it is multiplied with a high frequency sinusoidal signal. Okay, so this is a very commonly encountered modulated type of signal. Let's say mt is a low frequency signal. This is your mt, which is a low pass signal, and this is your cos omega naught t plus theta, which is a high frequency signal. This is cos omega naught t plus theta, and it's a high pass signal. Okay, now if we multiply these two, what will be the resultant output? The resultant output will be something like this. Alright, so if you multiply this low pass message signal with cos omega naught t plus theta, which is a high pass signal, the resultant will be of this form, right? Now if you carefully observe this multiplication, that is mt into cos omega naught t plus theta, if we carefully look at this multiplication output, so we can say that this is a kind of a fluctuating signal whose frequency is omega naught, and its amplitude is governed by mt, right? Frequency is omega naught and amplitude is governed by the message signal m of t, right? Clearly its frequency, this is the signal, right? Its frequency, it remains same of that of the this high frequency carrier, and the amplitude, the peak amplitude, is governed by m of t, right? So what will be the amplitude? What can we predict about the amplitude at any time instant t? So amplitude at, let's say, any time instant t can be written as, let us simplify this expression a bit, cos theta cos omega naught t minus mt sin theta sin omega naught t, right? So the amplitude of this will be square root of m square t cos square theta plus m square t sin square theta, which is nothing but modulus of mt. So this is the amplitude, right? And this is nothing but, this modulus of mt is nothing but envelope of this signal, and this envelope gives you the trace of the peak amplitude with time. It gives you the trace of the peak amplitude with time, isn't it? So this is the mt, modulus of mt, right? It gives you the trace of the peak amplitude. It gives you the trace of the peak amplitude, right? So this is the significance of envelope. So the band pass signal of this kind have a very important attribute, that is the envelope, which gives the amplitude at any time instant. So any band pass signal has a very important attribute, that is the envelope of that signal, and that gives you the amplitude at any time instant. The generalized way of, you can say, representing envelope of any arbitrary signal, not necessarily band pass signal, any arbitrary signal, is the generalized way of representing envelope of any arbitrary signal. Signal is that xpt, which is the analytical expression, that is xt plus j times x hat t. X hat t is the Hilbert transform of xt. So the envelope of any arbitrary signal will be modulus of xpt, modulus of the analytical representation. This gives you the envelope of xt. Always remember, this is how we can find out, or this is, you can say, the generalized way of representing envelope of any arbitrary signal. Okay. Now if we carefully look at the spectrum of this xpt, okay, we know xpt is your xt plus j times x hat t, right? So corresponding xp omega would be x omega plus j times x hat omega, right? And x hat omega, we know by the virtue of your Hilbert transform, it is minus j signum omega into x of omega. So this is your x hat omega, isn't it? Now we have to carefully analyze this output, and seeing that x hat omega is this, right, which we already know by virtue of Hilbert transform, and xp omega is x omega plus j times x hat omega. Let us substitute this x hat omega, and I say that xp omega is equal to twice of x omega for omega greater than 0 and 0 for omega less than 0. This is the spectrum of xpt. Are you able to correlate these two expressions? How we get this spectrum using this and this expression? We can have a look at it graphically. Let us assume that the spectrum of x of omega is something like this. It spans from minus w to w. Amplitude is A. Okay. Now x hat omega is equal to minus j signum omega into x of omega, right? Signum omega, we know signum omega is something like this, plus 1 and minus 1. Its value is plus 1 for the variable greater than 0 and minus 1 for variable less than 0, right? So if we go for minus j signum omega, it will be reverse of this, right? Mirror image of this, and this will be j times and minus j times, right? Now this is minus j signum omega, right? Now if we multiply this minus j signum omega into x of omega with this, and then further we multiply it with j, we'll find that it is something like this. And when we add these two, we'll get twice of x of omega for omega greater than 0 and 0 for omega less than 0. Okay, so this is the concept, that the spectrum of this analytical representation xpt is equal to this twice of x omega for omega greater than 0 and 0 for omega less than 0. So we can easily predict from here that this is a one-sided spectrum, right? Because for omega less than 0 it is 0. It's clearly a one-sided spectrum, and only it have a positive frequency component. So it is a one-sided spectrum. Spectrum of this xpt, which is the analytical representation of any real signal xt, is a one-sided spectrum. Now comes the important part, that is complex envelope representation of band pass signal. Okay, let us say xt is any signal, real valued signal, and its corresponding spectrum is x of omega, and this is a band pass signal. This is a band pass signal. It's a band pass signal, so the corresponding spectrum will be contained in a band of frequency which is centered around a frequency which is much greater than 0. The amplitude is A, is x. So we assume this to be the spectrum where omega naught is much greater than 0, right? So energy is contained around some non-zero central frequency which is omega naught. This is a band pass signal. Now this is x of omega, right? So what will be corresponding xp of omega? We have seen just now that xpt is the analytical representation of any signal xt, right, which is xt plus j times x hat t. So xp omega is x omega plus j times x hat omega, and x hat omega is minus j signum omega x omega by the virtue of Hilbert transform that we've already seen in the very first class. And xp omega is twice of x omega for omega greater than 0 and 0. It becomes a one-sided spectrum, right? So xp omega will be a one-sided spectrum. So we'll be left with only one-sided spectrum, that will be twice of the x omega, right? isn't it? But still it is a band pass signal. Although it is one-sided, but it's still a band pass signal because it is centered around, all the energy is contained in a band. This is the band which is centered around some non-zero frequency component, right? Still it is a band pass signal, but it is a one-sided signal. Now we need to imagine one thing, that this signal, it can be imagined as frequency shifted version of some low pass signal with spectrum this, isn't it? I'm saying that this signal, it can be imagined as frequency shifted version of some low pass signal, which is this, whose spectrum is this, right? What is the relationship between this and this? That this band pass signal is nothing but frequency shifted version of this low pass signal. This is a low pass signal clearly, because all the energy is contained in a band which is centered around 0, right? All the energy is contained in a band which is centered around 0, so it can be imagined as a frequency. This can be imagined as a frequency shifted version of this signal. If we shift this signal by omega naught towards the right, it becomes the same signal. That is the concept, right? Now suppose, we'll make use of this concept only, right? Now suppose we have a signal x tilde omega whose spectrum is this x tilde omega. We have a signal x tilde t whose corresponding spectrum is x tilde omega, that is this. Twice of A lies between minus B to B. Okay. So this x tilde t is a complex valued low pass signal. The complex valued low pass signal. Now we can say that this xpt, I've already shown you the relationship between xp omega and xp, this is xp tilde omega, right? What is the relationship with this? Xp omega is frequency shifted version of this, right? So can we say that xpt is equal to x tilde t into e raised to power j omega naught t? Yes or no? Because when we take its corresponding Fourier transform, xp omega will be equal to x tilde omega minus omega naught. Yes or no? So x tilde omega, if it is this, x omega minus omega naught will be a right shifted version of this, right? Which is nothing but this xp omega, right? So this is nothing but the complex envelope representation. This is your complex envelope representation, and this is the low pass equivalent. This is nothing but the low pass equivalent of band pass signal, right? One more important outcome that we can derive from this by building upon this is that, see, our aim is to represent x of t, which is our original band pass signal. Our aim is to represent this, right? So xt is we know that it's a real part of xpt. xpt is xt plus j times of x hat t. So x tilde t is what? xit. If we represent x tilde t, it is xit plus j times of xqt, where xit is the in-phase component and xqt is the quadrature phase component. So xt will be equal to real part of x tilde t e raised to power j omega naught t. Yes or no? Right. Substituting this generalized expression of x tilde t, it becomes real part of xit plus j times of xqt into cos omega